Welcome to My Spoonie Sisters, featuring stories from special guests dedicated to empowering those with chronic illness. Our goal? To connect people and provide the support and tools they need to live a better life. For those with chronic illness, our energy levels just fade faster. We must be more purposeful with the spoons allotted to us. So grab your coffee or tea, sister, and tune in as My Spoonie Sisters share stories of living with chronic illness. Hi, My Spoonie Sisters. I'm your host, Gracefully Jen, and
Linnea.
So we brought Linnea on, and I have some fantastic news because I have asked Linnea to be a co-host from time to time. So you guys are going to hear more and more of her. I can tell you guys all love her, so I had to talk her into doing this with me. So thank you.
It wasn't too hard to talk me into. I enjoy this so much, but I'm so excited I get to join you on these.
I'm so excited too. So what should we talk about today?
I don't know. I think we both have been going through a lot, like just physically, mentally. And I don't know if it's the weather change. Maybe we talk about that. Talk about how the weather affects us, the way the seasons change. And what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, so many things. And, I think for me too, it's also been like the past year.
Yes.
The past year has been just hard. And I don't share all about that because some of it is my private family life that I'm not going to share with the world. But it's hard because we moved a year ago. And so we left.
Same.
Yeah, exactly.
We both sold houses in the last year.
Yes.
We both went different job. I went back to work part-time a little bit, and we both had a lot of big changes.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just change after change. And even when they're good changes, changes still can be stressful even when they're good.
Exactly.
So maybe we should share and give advice on how we've dealt with that, whether it's good and bad, good or bad.
I agree, because there's good in the change, but I don't think some of us are prepared for the bad in good changes.
Absolutely.
Which then
100%.
makes you doubt that good change you made.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Okay, quick side note. So if we share this as a video, should we share our good news of what has come to be?
I think so. I think we need to.
Okay, I'm going to try to stand a little bit. Freezing season!
It's
freezing season. Depending on where you live. Freezing season is in progress. I got up today and it is currently, let me look this up.
Let me see what ours is.
We are up to 42, but it was in the 40s this morning. It's not that bad. I mean, this side of the state does not get as cold as the other, but
I mean, we're actually 70 today, and our lows were like 39.
You're in your 70s, and I talked you into wearing a sweatshirt
because I'm freezing.
Okay.
I'm cold.
Well, you do have a fan on above your head.
Yeah, but then it gets stuffy.
See, welcome to our lives. You can't make us happy. I mean, I'm just as crazy. I will be in our living room with the fan full blast going. Yep. And my husband walks in and he's like, "It's so freaking cold. Why do you have this fan on?" I don't know.
It just keeps the air moving. I just need it.
I mean, to go along with that though, we're not young chickens anymore. And for me, part of the stress that I've gone through was they took me off of my estrogen for a while.
Yes.
And for anyone that has ever gone through that, I don't have hormones anymore. So hormone replacement was supposed to help me. And then I had this insane doctor that I went to and thought that my hair loss problems were from my hormones. Now I'm seeing a great doctor who said, "Oh, no. And they should never take you off of your hormones cold turkey."
No, it baffles me with doctors like that. I've had doctors like that. And I've had to go through a lot of doctors to get good ones. And that is the worst part about having a chronic illness. You think the doctors would understand.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
should know that certain medications need to be tapered. You can't go cold turkey on some of these.
Oh yeah, and I'm
I
telling
mean,
you, that month not having my estrogen.
I could sense it when we talked, like that you just were off, and not in a bad way. I could tell you just weren't feeling yourself.
Oh, it was so strange. My husband, who's always warm, would come into the house and he'd be like, "Why is it so freaking cold?" And it was because I was turning the
Yep,
temperature down to 65.
because you were having hot flashes.
And I was walking around in a tank top and shorts and sweating and melting. And then at night, I couldn't even sleep with the sheet on.
Yeah, you'd wake up drenched.
It was
Like
awful.
when I first had my hysterectomy, that I went through whole hot flashes, everything. I didn't make any replacements. They found that for me, they were good. They caused endometriosis in other places. But coming off of it, I remember the severe symptoms I had. Like I felt better not taking it once it was out of my system, because it just was a nightmare. You don't feel like you.
Yeah, and to go with that, this is what I also want to mention is we can have these kind of symptoms even without having like the problems you and I have had. You can have symptoms like that on
that's normal women's stuff.
on your arthritis medications.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but getting used to taking methotrexate.
Oh, I never got used to it. My body hated it. Even the shots, but coming off of it, and gabapentin's another one. Have you ever taken gabapentin?
Mm-mm.
It's another one. I don't like it, but it helps. So I take the minimum because of the side effects. Like I had to go off of it for something, and just even tapering down the way I was going too fast.
So what is gabapentin for?
It's for like nerve pain, like fibromyalgia.
Okay, that is one thing I have not dealt with.
They call, like, for me, they call it like secondary. So like my RA, like, I guess the way they explained it, you know how our diseases cause other diseases but I just take the lowest dose and it takes care of it. Like I know friends that have it really bad, the fibrom, and that nerve pain is horrible. It hits. You know how a Charlie horse, just all of a sudden you're cramping up? Well, that's kind of like the nerves. They just all of a sudden just like are attacking, and it's just like they're firing pain. But I'm lucky enough, I just can take a little bit of gabapentin and it calms it. I don't want to go on the full dose.
So it's like your nerves are misfiring.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just, yeah.
That sounds
That's the way I consider it. Yes. I would love for us to talk to somebody. I can't remember. I think, have you talked to somebody on the podcast about fibromyalgia? Because it's such an unknown thing, and some doctors don't believe it, and other doctors, it's one of those diseases that it's taken a long time for people to accept it.
Calling all Spoonies. As a host of a chronic illness podcast, nothing lights up my day more than hearing from you, our incredible listeners. Whether it's a topic close to your heart that you want us to uncover, or you are keen to show your own journey as a guest on our show, your voice matters. Living with chronic illness can often feel isolating, but through the power of podcasting, we can come together as a community to uplift, educate, and inspire one another. Your stories, insights, and questions drive the conversations we have and the topics we explore. So if there's something on your mind, a story that you are just itching to share, or a guest you'd love to hear from, don't hesitate to reach out. Your voice is not only welcomed here, but celebrated. Let's continue to amplify the voices of those living with chronic illnesses and create a space where everyone feels heard, supported, and empowered. Together, we are stronger. I think I have, but I don't think it was their primary diagnosis, and I don't think it's what they really focused on talking about.
I would love to find someone that.
I think I might have. I mean, for those
Sorry,
listening,
I didn't.
no. For those listening, I actually was telling this to Linnea earlier, is that my podcast has gotten added into like I don't know, it's like a website out there where people can apply to be on the show. And in the last 2 days, I've received like 30 submissions or something crazy. People
Yeah.
wanting to be on the show. Although some,
I
I
could
don't know
not believe how many.
somehow I don't know how somebody that plays guitar and is super healthy qualifies to be on the podcast.
Yes.
But, this is about chronic illness life. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so we're going to circle back because you and I.
No, that we just kind of got off. We do that.
We do that a lot. So welcome to our life.
But back to, the changes.
The weather changes. So, okay, so how are you doing with the weather changes?
For me, weather is one of my big triggers, like any change. And for some reason, where we live in Arizona, obviously it's like 39. I'm echoing.
I can't hear an echo.
Okay, let me see if it's good. No, we're good. Sorry. The changes here, it gets so cold. It can be 30 in the 30s in the middle at night. And then in the day, it's up to the 70s. So it's like it fluctuates so much when it's changing from season to season that's where it affects me. It just wears me down.
You're living the desert life.
Yes. And I live right where it doesn't steady. I'm like right between the cold and the hot.
See, and I used to live on the desert side of Washington, but we get a lot colder than you,
yes.
And we would get snow sometimes and ice and a lot of wind.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, we would get so cold. So cold. But we'd also get 116 degree days in the middle of the summer too. It's crazy. So since we moved over here closer to the ocean, and now for those of you listening, I live in the Pacific Northwest, north of Portland. It's beautiful, but it's now rainy season.
Yes.
And what I noticed last year, and it kind of happened again a few weeks ago, is when rainy season starts to hit over here, it's the fact that one day it's cold and the next day it's warm and the next day it's cold and the next day. And so every time we fluctuate, it just throws my body off.
Same.
But I noticed that once it gets into just rainy season / winter, we're steady and my body calms down. My body just can't seem to handle the up and down.
It doesn't like I do. My body does not like the in between the seasons. When it's going from summer to fall, I flare. Fall to winter, it's just horrible.
So what do you do for yourself when these kind of things happen?
I have to slow down. Like I have to conserve more spoons because I don't have as many during those times. I have to dress warmer. Like I might dress up and Rick's in shorts, but it keeps my joints warm when it's cool. And resting. I know people think, we shouldn't be taking naps. I take a nap every now and then because it kind of just recharges me. I'm sure there's a lot of spoonies that do that, like a power nap, and I feel better. And I take B12. I take more vitamins when I'm down.
Have you seen the chart that Cheryl Crow from
I know.
Sorry, my mind just went from Arthritis Life.
Yes.
Have you seen the chart she has? Okay. And it's talking about like rating the importance of what you need. And it's interesting because you go and you look at the graphics of what some of the people came up with, and some people feel they need more sleep. Some people feel like they need more exercise. What we feel and what we need is so individualized. We could have the same illness, but we could also be so different.
exactly. And what works for me might not work for you. Like I just have to like get more centered. Like I have to slow down. Like that's my biggest thing. I get, but then I feel guilty for slowing down, you know. And when I take a nap, I feel guilty for taking a nap because, you know, that's tough with the disease, right? That I guess that is something I'm struggling with. I go through the grief process of my diseases.
But here's the thing that I've noticed. Sleep is so important. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I had such an idea about how valuable it was. Like, I mean, yes,
Yes.
sleep is important. We all know that. But I
Yeah.
don't think I had my head wrapped around how seriously important it was for me because I
Yeah.
wasn't sleeping well due to
No.
all the stress that was going
Yep.
on in my personal life and just worry about our kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Normal.
I mean, they're grown kids, but you
Yeah.
never
But we still worry about them.
exactly. And so I wasn't sleeping and my anxiety was out of control.
Oh, mine's so bad right now.
So what's interesting is you might want to get in there. They doubled my dose of my antidepressant. And so I went from having to take my rescue anxiety meds a couple times a week to I haven't taken one in several weeks now.
They just upped my they changed my um antidepressant,
Okay.
and then my anxiety medicine. I've had to use it. Normally I use it maybe once, twice a week. I would take it. The last couple weeks, and I haven't even told you this, I've been taking it almost every day. I've had this past weekend full blow panic attack. And it's about not getting enough sleep. I'm not sleeping well, which in turns makes me more tired.
It
And
makes you
then
more anxious.
yeah, and then it makes me more anxious. I it really, and I don't think there's anybody out there really telling us as chronic illness people how important our sleep is. Like, I don't think even the doctors, like my new one, she is all for, like, she will help me. She's helping me try and get better sleep. But we don't have, our doctors don't do that. They don't say that's a simple thing that we can do for ourselves that costs nothing.
Yes,
And our doctors don't encourage it. And I don't think we talk about it enough how important our sleep is. These moms are running ragged with RA and they need their rest so they can still be mom. And
exactly.
and I'm actually kind of glad that's where this conversations went, is because it is an important subject. Because I know I took a 3 hour nap this morning. Like that's, and I, to do this, to be able to talk to you today. And but that's why it's important to get it. So you
But
can do the things.
you also had a really big
Oh
day.
yes, I did. I weigh mm,
So you needed that
oh
nap.
Jen, I way overdid it. I
I had a
I
feeling. Had a feeling. That's why I had to check on you.
I you know, and everybody needs a friend like you that can feel it. You like knew, and it warmed my heart. And I told Rick, I said, she just knew. And and my husband just smiles because he knows how much I've needed that and needed that friend to go just notice. And I have another really good friend that if she would have been on the phone with me and just called out of the blue, and she would have known, she could tell.
Well, and
And it's nice to have. But
to
yes,
me
I
it's
overdid it.
simple. To me it's simple. Like people should be able to notice because okay, so I called Linnea yesterday because I needed to drive to a town called Battleground where we were going to a movie with my husband's company. And I was super excited, but I was also like, I
Mm.
hate long drives. I mean, it's not even that long. It's 25 minutes, but whatever.
Yeah,
So,
no. And mine
so
was long. I had a 30-minute drive home too. So
yeah, so I called to just chat. And next thing I know, you're telling me all the things you'd already done and then the things you're about to do. And I was like, she she's pushing herself too hard today because I know how rough you've been going the last few weeks. And I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So as soon as
Yeah.
I got out of this 3 hour long movie, which it was really good, but 3 hour long movie,
We
I
looked it
called
up.
you on my way home and I was like, girl, how you doing? Did you get home okay?
I was close to tears, but I didn't want to do that because my sister-in-law and brother-in-law were here, and I struggled letting my guard down and letting people. So I hid it how bad I was feeling, and they left, and it was I just took this big sigh, and it just came out, like the tears, the pain, like just really, I don't know if you've ever done that where you just hold it in for so long.
And then you
But I
fall
did
apart.
have it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I just was able to get out and do something by myself. And it's been a long time since I've just done that, where I didn't need somebody to drive me because the pain was too much. But I
But
did overdo it. I way overdid it. I
you're going
tried
to
to
make
do
me
too
a
much.
deal. You're
Yes.
going to make me a deal that instead of doing too
I
long
don't
of a
know if I want to make a deal when it's recorded and there's video evidence.
I'm going to send a copy to your husband. Um, so we're going to make a deal. And
Okay.
the deal is you're going to do this for yourself more often, but in shorter amounts. So you don't do this to yourself.
Okay.
Because it's
I
important
yes.
to get out and do
Yeah.
things that bring you happiness and joy and fill your cup. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you don't want it to fill your cup and then deplete everything out of you.
And it did that. It did that big time. Like, yeah.
Yeah. We're
We
all
I
adults. Yeah. I'm not going to pretend to be
yeah,
the all like wonderful. I do it all.
we all do it. But yes, I need to, like, I just don't, I've gotten to where I've gotten very quiet again. And you have noticed I have not been as visual on social media, which I'm working. Jennifer's been helping me get back going. But I think that's going to help me. That's going to help me mentally to get, but I've got to slow down when I go do stuff. I can't go overboard.
Yes, exactly. So, what was I going to say next?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It was there and then it went boom.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of time left because, that's just
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yep.
We could easily entertain you guys for hours.
Yes.
Uh, what would you say when you're struggling this time of year? What would be the piece of advice you would give to somebody?
Um, just slow down, put yourself first. Do take care of you because you cannot take care of anyone else if you are down. And just slow down. We all need to just slow down just a little bit and take our naps.
Okay, exactly. Exactly.
I hope that made sense. My brain fog's kind of hitting me. Like
No,
I'm
you're
fog.
doing great. You're doing great. My piece of advice would just be to remember, and I probably say this till I'm blue in the face, but I would tell people to remember that you have so much to offer, no matter what your circumstances are. You matter so much, and there's somebody out there that absolutely needs to hear from you. They need to hear your story. They need to hear how you're getting through it. There's always somebody out
Absolutely.
there that can relate to us, and they're further behind in what they're dealing with. So somebody like you or I, who were further along in our journey,
Mhm.
we can share with others
Yes.
tips, tricks, gadgets, advice on how to stay positive, but also remind them, we're not always going to be positive. Give
No,
ourselves some
no.
grace. So that would be where my advice
I,
goes.
I think we just have to. This is something you tell me a lot, and it's drilled. Give yourself grace. Remember to give yourself grace on those bad days. Remember that you are only human, and it's okay. And it's okay to ask for help from your friends and family. I think that's the big
100%.
thing. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a fun. Okay, so I did a interview earlier today with a friend of mine for her podcast, and she did some would you rather things with me, and that was kind of fun. And I'm trying to think of some good ones to ask you, but my mind is just not working. I guess I could copycat her and ask you what she asked me.
Well, go for it.
It was something along those lines of, oh gosh, what was it?
Okay, can I ask you one?
Sure.
Would you rather not have your diseases or have your diseases?
I mean, obviously
There's nobody wants it, but
but at the same time, it's made me who I am today. And I feel like it's made me a better person. I'm more patient, more understanding. I'm more compassionate. I think that without it, I wouldn't be the friend that I am. I wouldn't have thought to call you yesterday. I wouldn't think to mail people cards. I just wouldn't have. I think,
that's where I'm thinking. Yeah.
When we're healthy, we live in this wonderful, healthy bubble, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And when you go through things, it could be, and it could be for even people that are not ill. It could be for someone that loses a family member.
Yep.
It changes you.
Yep.
And so these hard things, as awful as they are, things that happen to us in our lives, they make us better people, or they give us the opportunity to be better people.
But I think it makes me, I'm with you. As much as I hate my diseases and I'm so tired of being hurting and sick all the time, I would not have the friends I have. I would not have the community that I have. And I would never have thought to make a video or do a podcast interview because I would never have gotten out of my bubble. And in some ways, I'm thankful for the disease.
Exactly.
And that sounds probably weird, but
I know it's totally weird and twisted, but I think a lot of people agree because I think a lot of us I think they're called glimmers. We see the glimmers out there of all the beauty and all the positivity, and we see the hope.
Yes.
And the possibilities. And so, it's not always a bad day. And it's not going to always be a good day either. But we roll with the punches.
Yep.
Do the best we can.
Yes, we do. We stick together and check on each other.
Yes. And we create fun shirts.
Oh, I took mine off. I'm rolling with the punches now, my t-shirt. I got warm.
Rolling with the punches. I know, I'm kind of warm, but
you look cute though.
I'm by my window and I have a hat on.
Yeah, but it's that I really wanted that hat out like last month and it was still 90 degrees. I wanted to wear my like Carhartt stockings because it was October.
So this is one of my favorite ones. I have two that are like this, and every time I try to wear them, my husband asks me what I spilled on my beanie because
I love those colors.
I love how it's like it kind of looks like someone threw paint on and then watercolored it or something. I don't know.
I love it.
He thinks that I look like I wear hats that were spilled on. And I don't know if that means that he's officially getting old and doesn't understand trends and beauty. I'm just teasing.
We love them. We love them anyways. Okay.
So
this was good. This was
I don't know what we're going to talk about next time, but I don't know. We were all over the place today. I don't know if we actually finished discussing everything we talked about in the beginning, but that's okay because we'll have another time.
Yep. I agree. I think we got some. I hope somebody gets something out of what we were talking about, even if it's just knowing that we're as crazy as they are dealing with these diseases. Like
100%. And I will make sure in the show notes that I attach links so they can find and follow you. And if for some reason you don't already follow me, I will attach a link for you to find and follow me as well.
Yes, please do.
All right. My Spoonie sisters, and I'm sure there's Spoonie brothers out there too. In fact, we're going to interview and share some Spoonie brothers pretty soon. But until then, don't forget your spoon. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only. Consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. The information should not be taken as a replacement for medical, clinical, professional advice, diagnoses, or medical intervention. My Spoonie sisters and guests will not be held liable for any of the consequences of such action or inaction. Trigger warning. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics including, but not limited to, suicide, abuse, mental illness, and chronic disease. You are advised to refrain from listening if you are likely to be offended or adversely impacted by any of these topics. None of the guests or hosts will be responsible for your use of the information contained therein. Life is not merely to be alive, but to be well. Living a life with a chronic illness is best described with one word: unpredictable. Be Well's products are designed to make the unpredictable easier to deal with. Back when I was getting my infusions, I would have loved to have their adult zip hoodie. They even have one in pink. They also have everything from one-day pill holders to urgency buckets. So remember, they want to make your life a little easier. So be sure to check out Be Well.